Hello and welcome to more memories of a forgotten town in our regular local history series, Swindon Through the Years, and a feature I first produced for the town's cable operator Swindon Cable towards the end of the last millennium back in 1999. In this series, once again, we'll be unlocking memories from the past with the help of the Swindon Society. We'll be discovering pictures from a town long since gone and visiting the modern location to make the comparison and remind ourselves just how much Swindon has changed with the passing of time. Well, this week, as I'm sure you can tell from the view behind me, we are in the very centre of town in Regent Street, and of course it's an area that continues to evolve and change at the very heart of Swindon. This is me back in 1999, introducing the feature you're about to see. Even then, Regent Street was different. The raised flower beds had been removed and the trees had been replaced. Even the clock above the old James Walker store has disappeared. Back then, the old McIlroy's building was being demolished to make way for a modern but somewhat uninspiring block of shops that now sits in the centre of town. And this, of course, is where the well-known Woolworth store was situated, having been a major store in the town for decades. Well, Swindon's town centre has certainly seen some changes, and it's incredible to think that once upon a time there would have been trams trundling up and down on the very same spot where I'm stood right now. Many years ago, of course, there were buses and cars to compete with, but certainly for as long as I can remember, it's been pedestrianised. However, let's turn back the clock, take a look into the past with this week's Swindon Through the Years as we concentrate on Regent Street. With the help of the Swindon Society, we're stepping back in time to Swindon of yesteryear. A selection of images then and now from around the town. We head back to 1902. This is number 4 and 5 Regent Circus. Anywhere offered complete house furnishings, sewing machines, jewellery and musical instruments. The original building was demolished and a new one erected in its place. The windows to the left of Aware provide the reference point for today's picture. The Co-op Bank stands on the exact side. Once again, the established trees in the area prevent the original angle to be copied accurately. The year is 1955, and we're in Regent Street looking at the Rifleman's Hotel and the corner of the Savoy Cinema. 44 years later, both buildings still remain. The Rifleman's has had an extension built on the side and is no longer run by the Stroud Brewery. The former cinema is now also a pub, still retaining the Savoy name. This 1950s view of Regent Street shows the store of F.W. Woolworth & Co. The clock of the jewellers James Walker shows 3 o'clock, and just a handful of cars are parked in the main street. The modern view is taken from a slightly different position, whilst the demolition of McIlroy's continued. The original building and clock may have disappeared, but a timepiece still hangs in the same position in our 1999 view. A 1963 view of Regent Street looking north. To the left is the Anstis store. Our point of reference for the up-to-date view is the facade of Marks & Spencer's in the mid-distance. Today, many of the original shops have gone. The town's Brunel shopping centre now occupies much of this location. Here's another 1960s view of Regent Street. It shows some of the many pinnacles on the buildings, including those of the old classic cinema. As we move forward in time, some of those pinnacles can still be seen. At the time the picture was taken, McIlroy's was still being demolished. The family-run shops, all now owned by major chains. Horses Limited was a familiar name in the town. Their store has long since gone, but the building remains and is still in use to this day. From the 1950s through to the 1990s, W.H. Smith occupy this building. The modern storefront provides a real contrast of time some 40 years later. Remembering the Swindon of yesteryear with the help of the Swindon Society, a glimpse of Swindon through the years. Well, I hope you enjoyed our look at an ever-changing Regent Street. And if you did, please remember to like, comment or share on Facebook and YouTube. And many thanks to those people, not just in Swindon, but all around the world that have now started to leave their comments after seeing our pictures of the past, comparing them to those of today in the modern view. Well, next week we'll have more of the same when we'll be looking at Market Square and Commercial Road. So make sure you join us then for Swindon Through the Years.